Shalom, family. I think you all know I'm not surprised that two more people have come back and said the same thing that Cassie said. Same identical things. And these are these are women that were with Diddy at different times. They weren't all with him at the same time. I told y'all right after Cassie, I told you the floodgates were going to open. It was going to be more lawsuits coming. And here we are. I don't even think it's a week later after Cassie, he decided to settle with Cassie. Now you got two more. And trust me, it's going to be more than these two. It's going to be more coming. So nobody should be surprised. Now, is it me or does Diddy have on one of those man weaves? The only reason why I'm saying that is his hair looks like two different textures. Like up top, it's all wavy, and then on the sides, the texture is totally different. I'm just saying, and it looks like he got one of those little man weaves on. It does. I'm gonna have to go and look at some old pictures of him to see what his hairline used to look like back in the day and look at it today because I think it's different. I think he got a man weave on. So anyway, y'all laughing. I'm being for real. You know, I don't remember his hairline. I remember his hairline looking a bit different from what I look at today. It don't look like the same hairline, y'all. I'm just telling y'all, go back and look at some of his older pictures. So anyway, moving away from that, and let's get into what's going on because you're going to see a lot of identical things in these stories that Cassie said. Well, yeah, look, I'm telling y'all, I know what I'm talking about. It looks like a man weave. It looks like a man weave. Like I said, I'm going to go back and look at some of his older pictures because I'm telling you, the hairline that I'm looking at today is not the hairline that I have seen on Diddy before. It's not the same. So, all right. So let's get into this story. Sean Diddy Combs accused of assault and revenge P in two new suits. So we know what happened because it kind of rehashes what happened between him and Cassie, and he settled the next day. Well, not even a week later, you first got Joy Dickerson Neal. She alleged that she was attacked by Diddy back in 91. He inflicted substantial and lifetime injuries on her. She said, as a result of being drugged, assaulted, abused, and being the victim of revenge P, that Sean Combs or P. Diddy created, and she said it was disturbing what he did. So a representative for Combs, of course, did the same thing when it was Cassie, claiming the allegations are not true, they're made up, it's not credible. It's a money grab. Okay. Let's say she is, but she can't even get a lawyer without providing some kind of proof. These lawyers are not going to go on hearsay. So Dickerson Neal was a university student who had previously appeared in Dizzy. She was in his music videos back in the day. So he invited her to dinner in New York, which she attended reluctantly, where she alleged he drugged her and then later assaulted her. Because she had been drugged, the plaintiff lacked the physical ability or mental capacity to fend off Combs. So she alleged he also filmed the encounter that happened and showed it to his acquaintances, causing her to be subsequently hospitalized with depression. Lawyers for Dickerson Neal said she was moved to make the allegations after Cassie. See, didn't I tell you? Once Cassie filed that suit, it was going to open up everything. There were going to be more people coming, and here they are. Here they are. Y'all, make no mistake, there's going to be more and more, and these lawsuits are going to keep coming for Diddy. They're gonna keep coming. So she said, so Cassie pretty much inspired Joy Dickerson Neal to come forward. So she talks about a lot of the same things that Cassie said happened to her. So according to Rolling Stones, there was another woman, but she is unnamed and listed as a Jane Doe. And she alleged that Combs and musician Aaron Hall both raped her and a friend back in 90 or 91 after the women were invited back to Hall's apartment following a music industry event. Doe says that Combs coerced her into having S, and afterwards, Aaron barged into the room, pinned her down, and forced her, and he took advantage too. So Doe says her friend, who was not involved in the filing, was forced into another room where the same thing happened to her. So I don't know why the friend would not have filed something. Maybe she just wanted to move on. I don't know. So Doe alleges that Combs visited where the two women stayed a couple of days later, and he physically assaulted her and choked her at the point to where she passed out, according to the lawsuit. The woman said that she sought medical treatment to heal from trauma. Combs and Hall have not yet responded to the suit. Wow. So the pair of lawsuits were filed thanks to the Adult Survivor Act in New York State. So normally the incidents that occurred in the early 90s would have happened too long ago to meet the statute of limitations on civil suits. But the act passed in 2022. It created a year-long window where those limitations were lifted. So the window closes on Friday. We're talking about today, meaning that numerous lawsuits have been filed in the last recent days, including a number against powerful men in the music industry. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. So, it mentions Axl Rose and there's a woman alleging that he took advantage of her back in 1989. And producer and mogul Jimmy Iovine of Interscope, he's also accused by a woman for S abuse and harassment. So, other lawsuits this week outside of the music industry, ones that I did a video on Eric Adams. There's a woman accusing him from an incident that happened in 1993. And of course, you got Bill Cosby. He got hit with another suit, and actor Jamie Foxx, and fashion photographer Terry Richardson. So these are all the suits filed. Um, all I have to say is these stories all sound similar to what Cassie said. So, y'all, you're going to have to just let me know what you think. I don't think everybody's trying to grab a bag. I think some of these stories about Diddy is true. Now, prior to this, I've heard things about Diddy and things he said. So, it's not like I haven't heard some of this stuff before. I heard about Kim Porter being abused years ago. Well, yeah. Well, I had somebody write me. They were upset when I first did the video with, Diddy and Cassie. And they were like, you don't even have sense enough to know that this ain't true. I'm like, what? Oh, I don't, huh? Yeah. I mean, Aaron Hall, boy, I haven't heard that name in ages. Yeah. Oh, trust me, they're probably flooding the place with these filings, especially today being the deadline. Oh, yeah, they're getting flooded. But, there's also the possibility of them extending this, especially once they see how many people are, doing this, they may actually extend it. I wouldn't be shocked, which would give people maybe a few years more. Time to file something. Mhm, mhm. Well, I tell you what, Nightfall Drop, she Cassie must have had something. Diddy settled in less than 24 hours, and do you know how civil attorneys work? You can't just walk in there with some story. When you go to a civil attorney, you gotta have proof. Those attorneys are not gonna represent you on hearsay. You don't believe it? Walk into one of their offices and tell them a story and watch what comes out of their mouth. They're going to be sitting across that desk asking you for proof. Anybody that worked for a law office can tell you that. You don't even have to be the lawyer. You can be a paralegal or a secretary that work in a law firm. If you don't have proof, they won't even take your case. And how could they and just think about it. Just think about it. The girl said he put out the porn. How do you know she don't have a copy of it? You don't know that. You don't personally know these people no more than I do. That's one thing jacked up about our people. We're always caping for a bunch of people that you don't even know. You don't know Diddy. You probably never even been in his circle. Mhm. Oh, I'm sure it has been busy in civil court in New York. It's probably been a madhouse. Yeah, but we shall see, time will tell. We'll see how many more will come out, and you will see. You know what? Nightfall drop. You know what? All this protecting of Diddy, what are you getting out of it? What are you really getting? Is Diddy going to back you up? Or is he financially backing you or something? Seriously, is he financially backing you? What are you getting out of the deal doing all this hard defending of him. What are you getting out of the deal? I'm serious, because you sure acting like you caping awfully hard for somebody you don't know. So, y'all, you're gonna have to tell me what y'all think about this one. Wow. I mean, it's one thing if it's just the one lawsuit, now you're talking 3, but I know more is coming. It's absolutely coming. Yeah, that's why he lost, his collection being displayed over at Macy's, because that's why I was telling y'all, it don't matter if he settled the case. He now got that stigma on him for good. And, because they were like, "Oh, well, he's gonna redo the line and rename it and this." That's not gonna matter. As long as he's attached to it, what store is that gonna go in at this point? What store is gonna pick him up? Not unless he can do it all himself, but with all of this coming out, how many people are gonna go in there and buy his clothes? I haven't seen anybody with Sean John on in years. When I go out and about, I don't see nobody wearing Sean John. I did years ago. I would be out and about and you would see people sporting the Sean Johns, but man, I haven't seen that in so many years. It's not even funny. Mhm. Well, yeah. And over the last few days I've been hearing Kim Porter's name come up a lot, a lot. And y'all know Kimora, she wants to have her exhumed and another autopsy done. And I said, "Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't know if that will happen, but that's what she's fighting to get done." Because she and Kim Porter were best friends. And she is trying to go to the authorities and get them to dig her up and do a whole independent autopsy on her body. Yeah, a lot of people say that Temp is 78, that her death is suspicious. There's a lot of people that say the same thing about Heavy D, that his death was suspicious as well. I've seen that a lot, especially over the last few days. Her Kim's name been coming up an awful lot over the last few days. Yeah, Heavy D was only 51 years old. That was it. And a lot of people said they felt he got poisoned or somebody laced something to cause his demise. Now, I don't know. Who knows? But he was only a 51-year-old man. Yeah, yeah. They code red 713. They said it was a heart attack. But yeah, I'll be sure. Yeah, I'll be sure says that he does not believe Kim died a natural death. Yeah, we saw what happened to him. I think he was what, in a coma, Donna C, for nearly 2 months. He was in a coma for, yeah, Heavy D, I believe, was only 51 years old. He was not that old at all. Yeah, Albie Shore, I believe, was in a coma for nearly 2 months. Oh, 44 Lee? Thank you. Thank you for that correction. Brother Neria, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me see, it's kinda you said the walls are definitely closing in on this fool. Diddy is the Black Clive Davis in terms of sacrificing entertainers. Yeah. Yeah, well, my thing is that turned me off about Diddy is when I found out about how many performers were coming forward and saying he wasn't paying them. And I said, "Yeah, well, I guess you are a billionaire because you're keeping all the money. You ain't paying nobody." Mhm. Yeah, Al B. Short was really upset when Kim died, and he spoke out about it, and then not long after that, that's when he got sick. And people are just feeling all of these things are not a coincidence. Yes, he's on the docket. Aaron Hall is on the docket of the one named Jane Doe, the one that is anonymous. Well, she wouldn't be anonymous to Diddy. She's anonymous to the public. Mhm. Her twin girls they're beautiful. It's a shame she didn't get to see them grow up. They look just like her too. They look just like Kim. Thank you, Story Time, for the super sticker. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, Kim did a lot of modeling. That's how they all met. If you notice, Kimora, Kim, it's a whole bunch of them. They were all models, and, I guess because they were all in the industry, they became really good friends. Mhm. Yeah, well, that's why a lot of people say it's suspicious that, people there's a lot of dead bodies associated with, Sean Combs, and people are saying it's not a coincidence. And I know, also Kimora wanted the authorities to get involved when Kim died, but, they wouldn't do it, but she said that right there proves how powerful Diddy really is. Yeah, in fact, there's pictures online of, Diddy, Kim, Kimora, and Russell together. You could tell they were all within the same circle. Mhm. Well, I think if the floodgates keep opening and, you keep hearing the same thing over and over, it could spark some kind of investigation. Some people think Diddy is already under investigation, but I don't see anything where going on where he is being investigated. Nothing is certainly being announced. Yeah, Unicorn 101, what I heard, and it came from Kimura, he had threatened to hit her when she was pregnant. Mhm. You know? Well, he's just an example of a person that was able to make a lot of money, but instead of doing decent things with the money, he turned around and did evil with it. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I don't think having money is evil, but I think people do evil things with money, and, that's what's wicked is what they turn around or, turn around and put a hit out on somebody's life with your money or have someone harmed or you're paying money to just do all kinds of wickedness with it. Mhm. Yeah, well, according to Mace, a lot of his fortune is in his mother's name. I remember I watched an interview that Mace was on, and he said that. He said his mother, he most of his fortune is being held by his mother in his mother's name. I said, "You know what? There's a reason why he did that, and what he's going through right now might be that very reason why he did that, trying to hang on to his fortune." Mhm. Y'all, Imma go look for Diddy's hairline because 'cause I'm telling y'all, I know what I'm talking about. When I do, Imma post a picture up in the comment section. That's what I'm gonna do. Imma post it up there so y'all can compare the hairlines, and you tell me whether he got a man weave on or not. I believe he got one on. So, y'all, please enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoy our time together. And, as the stories come in, I'll keep doing live streams. I know in the past I kind of slacked off from doing it, but I'm going to get back into it. So expect more, y'all. Shalom.